How are you, Aquarius? Welcome to my channel, Tarot and Stuff. My name's Sid and I hope that you've been keeping really well. So I've just started this channel with the idea of doing weekly love readings for each astrological sign. So I'm starting with the air signs to begin with. I'm also an air sign, I'm a Libra. But I'm keeping it pretty simple. So I've got 5 decks and I'm just going to draw a card from each deck and we'll see what naturally wants to come up. I also have a bag of love notes. And so I'll draw one to crown the reading. But at the end, I like to choose another 5 notes and have you choose a number from 1 to 5. And being a general reading, I thought if I did it that way, hopefully you get a more specific message. But it's a bit of fun, and always just use your intuition and take on the messages that feel right and let go of the ones that don't. So let's get 4 cards. What's going on for Aquarius? Oh, we have the Lovers card. I was going to pre-draw the cards, but I like seeing them being drawn. But if you prefer to skip ahead while I draw the first 4, of course you're welcome to do that. Okay, we have the 10 of Swords, one of my favorite 10 of Swords cards. We have God of Sensuality. And a new romantic cycle begins. I like it. You've done the hard yards in love. And I feel like you're moving into a level of balance that you might not have been in for a really long time. Because I want to start with this 10 of Swords. But unlike regular 10 of Swords, where you see someone at their worst with like 10 knives in their back, this is what comes after the 10 of Swords. It's the rising phoenix. It's the comeback. It's rising from the ashes. So not only is the worst over, it's like you're back on your feet. And you're standing stronger than, maybe you've been in some time. Or as it's a weekly reading, I just feel like you're doing good. Regardless of what's going on in love, I feel like you're actually doing pretty good. This Lovers card, I was a bit bummed when I received this Lovers card because I have a few decks and there are a few that have a man and 2 women. And I love this deck so much. And I was like, God, why did they have to ruin the Lovers and have 2 women in it? But, the Lovers is a card about having to, make a choice. So, it could be yourself because you're showing up as being pretty fine at the moment. Whether you're male or female. You might have a few offers. It might be you that's having to make the choice. And when you think of scales, you do think of fairness as well. So there is some kind of choice going on in love, and they might be a weighing up of options. I think fairness is something that needs to be considered. If you have had past experiences where there have been multiple people involved and you've had someone who has, been involved with more than one person, I feel like you've come out of that cycle with this 10 of Swords rising from the ashes. And what's coming next might be something very different from what you've had in the past, in a positive way. This card, God of Sensuality, in the guidebook, it talks about the differences between men and women and how we express our sexuality. And it talks about how arousal for women, I'm speaking generally, I'm not a sex expert or anything, but talks about how arousal begins in the heart and then with a bit of help it moves down to the sacral chakra. Whereas for men, the arousal begins in the sacral chakra, and then with a bit of help it moves up to the heart. But it explains that, you know, in society, in the way that it is, it's not often the way that things go. For a man, the energy often doesn't move up to the heart, and for a woman, the energy doesn't get to move down to the sacral chakra. So I do feel with a new romantic cycle begins, it's like, I don't know, you might have done a lot of healing in regards to sensuality and sexuality. You even have the orange that is the color that connects to the sacral chakra. I just feel like you're stronger and the worst is definitely over. And the scales have been balanced. You almost get this like karmic transmutation energy with this card as well. There might have been a relationship that you even had like some karma in, or there was some kind of cycle that just needed to be broken. But let's have a look at your note. Love takes time. This is actually a song lyric from a Mariah Carey song. And there is that lyric that says, I couldn't see, I was blind to let you go, something like that. So it might be a relevant song. But be patient, you know, love takes time. So I have a mystery deck that I'm going to draw a card from. And it's called the Cat Tarot. So it's cat themed, but they're all different characters. So we have Picasso. We have Beauty from Beauty and the Beast. Belle. Who else? I should have made sure they were the right way up. We have the Wizard from The Wizard of Oz. All right, so let's draw one and see which character would like to make an appearance in this reading for Aquarius. All right, so we have the Four of Wands. This always reminds me of a theme park. So I don't know, I just feel like you might have come from like a bit of drama, maybe someone whose love life was, you know, they treated it a bit like a theme park. But it is the Four of Wands. This is my, it's the card of stability. It is actually the marriage card as well. It's also the card that reminds me of Hollywood. Yeah, I feel like with this Ten of Swords, it's like, you know, there can be all of these ideals that, you know, sometimes are quite superficial. And I actually feel like you might have had someone, at least from the past, who was a little bit shallow or a little bit superficial, who got lost in a bit of that stuff. Maybe didn't take it seriously. This is kind of, you know, it's a little bit comic book. But what I really like is a new romantic cycle begins, because I think you're moving towards a time when there's going to be a lot more stability. And I think that you're in your stability as well. So let's get some love notes. I am keeping them pretty brief. All right, so I'll draw 5 notes and I do place them on the card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you did feel drawn to a particular card, then you can choose the number that corresponds with that card, or even a couple, or just listen to them all and take the ones you like. And if some of them suck, just let them go. So let's get number 1. Okay, it says, I have written so many messages that I have never sent you. And that's on top of the Lovers. Two says less is more. I feel like you've moved into a time where, especially if you're single, like you recognize the advantages and the freedom that kind of comes with being single. I feel like you've gone through all the hard stuff and that you're actually in a pretty good place. And you don't mind being single is the kind of vibe I'm getting with this less is more. You have a good attitude. Okay, number 3. Interesting. It says, sometimes I do hurtful things because when I upset you, I feel loved by you. Oh, so there could be someone who has a bit of a shadow side when it comes to their sensuality, and they do things to maybe make you jealous, or they do things knowing that it will hurt you because getting a reaction from you like makes them feel loved, something like that. Number 4. I have strong sexual desire for you. With a new romantic cycle begins. I think you have some good things to come, number 4. And number 5. I want to live my best life with you. And that's on top of the 4 of Wands. And when you think of Mickey Mouse, it's someone in a costume. So there's also this reference to authenticity with this card. And so with I want to live my best life with you, like someone wants to like drop their barriers. And, you know, they want stability. They want the real deal. So I do hope that you got some messages, Aquarius. If you did and you'd like to watch more of these videos, please do like and subscribe. Really take care of yourself and have a great day. Bye.